Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wednesday Morning Brews. My name, of course, is Ryan Smelt. And first, I want to talk about a couple of changes we just made, really experimenting with it. But number one is the subscriptions on the episodes. Not too sure how that's going to turn out. However, it is the audio-only content. And I think we're going to stick to the older episodes. So as long as you stay up to date on the episodes, only if it's audio only, then you shouldn't have to worry about the subscriptions. If you go back and try to listen to some of the older episodes, then of course you'll find out they're behind the paywall. This is just a little bit of an experiment. Of course, it's only 99 cents per month, so I don't see that being a significant burden on any of our listeners. However, we definitely welcome your feedback. You can use the content or contact form on the website to reach out to us. And this morning, I just want to talk a little bit about the process. So this is going to be a little bit off the hip. However, in the Army, we used to use the phrase embrace the chaos or embrace the suck. If you're a veteran, then you're well aware of what I'm talking about. However, the premise behind that phrase is essentially no matter what you're doing, always approach it with the mindset that something is going to go wrong, because if you hold that expectation, you're better prepared for it, and then you understand how to navigate it. It's a lot easier to understand that things will go wrong and expect them to go wrong and embrace that fact and then be willing to push through it and persevere than it is going into something thinking just because you spent some time planning it that it's going to go perfectly. Nothing is going to go wrong, and now when it does, you just get distraught and overwhelmed and can't handle it. So that goes hand in hand with the phrase embrace the process, okay? Because just as much as you want to embrace the suck when you're at work and it's cold and you didn't get to eat breakfast, and as soon as you got to work you noticed one of your tires went flat, just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But the truth is that presents a whole world of opportunity and potential problems that you can work on solving. And when life throws us challenges like that and we approach them embracing said chaos, we're better prepared to work through them. And when we do work through them and we reach those solutions, then it's easier for us to gain that sense of accomplishment. So it helps us feel good as well as helps us grow in the long run. As far as embracing the process, I think one thing this phrase really focuses on is having an attitude of patience when really approaching anything. Because the truth is, as much as I am a guy that likes to go ahead and knock stuff out, and oftentimes I overextend myself in a sense that I believe I can accomplish the task quicker than I actually can. I really focus on that process. It's something that I've heard Gary Vee talk about it, but we also talked about it in the Army, because the truth is, in the Army, 70% of my career was spent training. Okay, and I've talked about this before, how it was essentially waiting in line at Disneyland. You know, I spent 10 years in the Army. The majority of that was training, and I had one 15-month deployment. So that 15 months out of 10 years was a very small amount of time. And even then, when we were deployed, we ran missions, but we also trained a lot over there as well. So in embracing the process, focusing on the process, and understanding that what it is you're doing now is going to lead to a greater goal. I think we have to apply patience there, because if you go into the process and you do whatever the thing is, and then you do it one more time and you take a look back, you've only done it 2 times, or only one thing has changed in the last 2 times, and then you think that you need to go back and fix something, that's not necessarily going to be conducive to the overall growth of whatever it is you're working on. Because the truth is, anything we do, we get better at over time. The same would apply if you're the owner of the company, you invented or established the process. Of course, you may be able to go ahead and knock it out better, faster than anyone else. But when you bring in new people, all those people need to be trained. And then if you're bringing in new people and you're having an existing person train them, there's a trickle-down effect where you might tell the person conducting the training, hey, make sure X, Y, and Z gets done. However, you have to inspect what you expect. And none of this takes place instantaneously. So if you tell someone, hey, make sure A, B, and C is done, and then you don't go back and check it, maybe it wasn't done. And also, on top of all this, you have to make sure that your day-to-day gets taken care of as well. So I think it's important to understand that when you're growing a business, you have to approach it with a little bit of patience. If one of your employees implements a new process or implements some sort of new system or anything that is going to make it better over the long run, and then after the first time it takes place, you start trying to fix it, then I would recommend you take a step back, have a little bit of patience, and maybe give it some time to run. If it's something that happens on a weekly basis, maybe give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, before you start to analyze it and try to fix whatever you think may be wrong with it. Because the truth is, if it's a weekly thing, over the course of 3 weeks, that means it's happened 3 times. So maybe someone implements a process for getting something done quicker on a daily basis. Maybe instead of after the first 2 days, you take a pause, take a look at it over the course of a week, see if you have the data to assess the process before the new thing was implemented, and do a comparison. Because if you have historical data for years and this process is new, then 2 days compared to several months is not something you can really work with data-wise. You have a very small sample size over here and a very large one over here. So just approach it with patience. Trust the people that you have in place to execute. There's a reason that you hired them. There's a reason that your company hired them, because you believe they're capable of doing whatever it is you need them to do. So make sure you lean on that. Make sure that you, once again, take that step back and ask yourself, does this actually need to be fixed because it is brand new? So that's all I have for you today. I think we're running a little bit short. I hope that you gain some value from this segment in the mornings. If you do, be sure to give us a 5-star review and subscribe to the Business and Brew Show wherever you listen to your podcasts. Don't hold it all in or keep it all to yourself. Make sure to share it with your friends. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode of Morning Brews.